Hey guys, it's Garrett doing some cleaning up and organizing, moving things around today, and thought I'd do a little walk around with you guys. Just, show you what's hanging out around here. Some of it's been here for quite a while, some of it belongs to other people and they won't pick their shit up. But hey, let's start out in the shop since that's where most of these videos take place. And you guys have seen most of this before. We got the Jeep over here and the bench and all with, all the crap and that fuel processing station, and of course the Rotten Rescue over here taking up space in the bay, which, it's doing better, but still a long ways to go. We've got another customer's M35 in here for a freshen up on a paint job. That's really just going to be a bit of sanding in the bad spots and scuffing and spraying, not a complete taking it down to bare metal and starting over. Then there's my deuce, which is down and has been down for a while, and I'll go into more detail with that on another video. Then another one of my deuces, this is the one that I did the towing video with, towing another deuce, running balls to the wall with no problem at all. It's a 1987 model Air Force Deuce, dual circuit brakes, still for sale. It's horrible how people ask so many questions, but nobody ever follows through. Then we've got another M35 here. This is also a previous Air Force truck, but this is a single circuit brake truck. This one, when the bed was on it, it had markings on it from, I think, Brandenburg Air Force Base. I looked it up at one time, but it's been here for a few years. This, once again, belongs to someone else, a friend of mine, and he hasn't come and got it yet. So then we have the 931A2. I bought two of these for a local logging company, and that was about 3 or 4 years ago now. He told me, hey, look, this upcoming auction, since you've got the account, go ahead and grab me two of them and I'll, pay you whatever they cost plus your markup on it, which we had agreed on a price. And he never ended up buying either one of them. In fact, he wouldn't even talk to me. So that guy's a dickhead. I sold one, and this one is now sold. It should be being picked up in the next couple days. Over there in the field, you'll see 3 600-gallon fuel pods. That's my old fuel farm. I used to keep all 3 tanks full of fuel, diesel, and I can't do that anymore. I was having problems with biological growth in them, because even though I was driving all over the country all the time, it's hard for me as one guy to go through 1,800 gallons of fuel quickly, quick enough to rotate it and keep it all fresh. So I don't do that anymore. I keep a little bit of fuel in one, a couple 100 gallons. But I keep all 3 tanks because, as you know, we get hurricanes here in Louisiana, and when hurricanes come through, I fill up all 3 tanks, because you will go through fuel, powering your own vehicles, generators, giving or selling fuel to neighbors or passersby, people that hear that you've got fuel and they need it for their generators. And no, you don't price gouge. You charge them, I don't know, normal rate, whatever the price of the fuel is, plus maybe 50 cents a gallon, Then we've got M1061 trailer with shit all over it. This is, or most of my scrap metal I pile here. I've got an old Ford 9-inch rear and a Toyota front axle, old out of an 85 Toyota. So if anybody needs either of those axles, they need completely gone through, but they're good. The trailer, I've towed this trailer all over the country, but I had to go pick up another 1061 that didn't have rims and tires on it. So I stole the rims and tires off this trailer and brought them and put them on that trailer and towed it home, and well, you see, this is where it's still sitting. And it's actually fairly convenient because it's got its own 4 legs. You just, you know, jack the whole trailer up and pull the tires off. You don't need a separate jack. This used to be engine row. I had, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 multi-fuel engines lined up here, all under an M927 tarp. I got one left, and that actually is sold, has been sold to another fella. Once again, didn't come pick his shit up. It's still sitting here years later. And I'll show you the truck that belongs to that guy. We got a multi-fuel engine can that I've been trying to sell. $250 if anybody wants it. Come get it, bring cash. I'll pick it right up with my wrecker and load it into the back of your truck or on your trailer. All the fixtures are in it, all the bolts are still in it. It's in good shape. This is the bed that came off of that 2.5 ton up there, and let me see if you can read the numbers anymore. Yeah, there you go. So if you can make sense of that or look it up. Then there's this truck I picked up for another friend from auction in Woodworth. This was a forestry vehicle. The, what was it, Lacombe Fire Department, St. Tammany. And it would run, but they hooked up the slave cable connections backwards, so you can't jump start it. And the forks on the clutch are broken. So if you do start it, you can't put it in gear unless you start it in gear, and with the battery's dead. In other words, the clutch won't release. That's the problem. So, other 1061 I showed you already. M750 expandable shelter trailer thing. I got that in a trade deal with an M818 that was butchered, and I sold the 818 for what I had in the whole deal. Basically got the trailer for free. Sold the 818 for parts. Gravely parts that came from my grandfather's place. Locked up multi-fuel LDS, just going to scrap. I've shown you that in another video or two. This is a good LDS, believe it or not. This is another truck that belongs to me. Got this in a trade deal from another friend of mine. It actually, it would run with a little bit of work. It ran when it came here, but I put it here when I got here, and it hasn't moved since, and I haven't cranked it since. And it is missing a shitload of parts, like seats and gauges and wirings all cut up, but the body's in good shape. Had a gun ring on it at one time. Winch kit, the winch and extensions. There's no PTO, no shift linkage, no none of that shit on it, but the winch and all, I'll probably get rid of. My workhorse M936A2. It leaks hydraulic fluid everywhere, but it does whatever I ask it to do. It has one irritatingly leaking tire. And the reason I leave it like this is I had another tire on it that was leaking. And this tire was on the front of another 5-ton I had at the time. And it wasn't leaking. So I pulled it off and switched it out. And as soon as I put it on here, it started leaking. So it pissed me off, and I just said, fuck it. I keep air in it, you know, when I notice it starts to go flat, I'll air it back up so it doesn't sit on a sidewall. That is a brand new spare. If you look carefully, it's even got nibbles on it, the nubs on it, nibbles. It leaks too, from the friggin' O-ring. I had that tire on here too at one point. It's just like whatever tire I put on this particular wheel end, it starts leaking. So I just gave up. I don't give a shit. This thing doesn't go down the road. It stays on the property, and I use it to move stuff. So this is a buddy of mine, Bo's truck. It's been here for a few years now. We work on it together. He wanted to learn how to do stuff, so when he wants to work on it, he comes down, and I show him how to do whatever he wants to do. We've done a little bit of painting here and there. We've done the brake system, waiting on a master cylinder now. Done some electrical work. It still needs a lot, but it's coming along. In fact, that's who I got the deuce that's all took apart over there from. Now this one is a ridiculous piece of shit, pain in my ass. This truck is completely butchered. It's nothing more than a parts truck. This is one of the worst deuces I've ever seen. I've cut up trucks in better shape than this. The guy that bought this lives in Florida, and he had it delivered here, thinking that I was going to just do a couple of things to it and get it put back together, and he was going to drive it home. I could be here all day showing you shit that's wrong with this truck. The frame's bent. But I mean, it's missing engine parts. The radiator has got a rat nest in it. It's been open to the weather for so long. I mean, the generator's missing, and I mean, look at this shit. It came here like that. The tires, I mean, there's 6 tires on it, and only 2 of them hold air, and most of them aren't even, like, the lug nuts aren't even tight. So, I mean, mirrors are busted off. This thing, the entire brake system is shot. Brake lines are rusted in half. The bed is destroyed. It's just not. This is the guy that bought the motor that's sitting back there. He won't come get this shit out of my yard. Like, you know, and I told him when he had this delivered here, I didn't want it sitting here for like 6 months. I didn't even want it sitting here for a month. And he agreed to that. And here it sits. I think it's been here 3 years. Right here. So, you know, I don't mind helping people. And I don't mind fixing their stuff when they bring it to me and it's properly represented. You know, they tell me what it needs or what they think it needs, and we agree on a timeline and a price window. But when you have me delivered something to me, it's you know, oh, it just needs a little bit of brake work and it runs, and it comes in and it's a giant piece of shit like that, and I tell you I'm not doing nothing with it because it's not what you told me and I want it gone, and then you leave it here for 3 years. This guy's lucky I haven't sent that piece of shit to scrap. I can't bring myself to do that to him, because if it was my truck and I was having a hard time, which he may be, I don't know, I wouldn't want that done to me. But I want his damn motor and his truck out of my yard. It looks like shit. My place looks like shit enough already. Anyway, everybody has gripes. This is just a couple of mine. So, thought I'd show you around the property a bit. You know, a lot of you guys watch this channel and you see glimpses of things here and there, but I really haven't shown you all around. So this stuff's always changing. I get trucks that come in, I get trucks that leave, I get trucks that are only here for a day, I fix them and they're gone. I get a lot of stuff that I don't even get time to make a video on because I'm busting ass trying to get it done and get it out. But hey, hope you guys enjoyed this little walk around with me. If you got questions about any of this stuff, hey, ask them. You know, put them in the comments below and I'll get back to you. If you want, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, hit the like button down below, and we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you.